What I'm going to do now is show you how the leads actually work within the system. So let me go back to the All Clients tab here, and let's find a lead we can go ahead and get started. I'm going to choose this one down here, and as you see, it's really easy for an agent to go ahead and access that lead. All they need to do is click on the lead ID. Now, when we get started here, keep in mind this is an existing lead, in fact, an existing member in the system here, and it's flagged as an existing member as the lead type. The reason we flag that is because depending upon the lead type, it's going to dictate different workflows for this particular user. And I'll show you and explain to you a little bit more when we get there. But right off the bat here, we want to ensure that the agent is compliant. So the system is always going to present what the compliant process is for the particular record. In this case, we need to make sure there's a scope of appointment, an approved scope of appointment that's valid for this particular lead. And regardless of the scope of appointment status, we're always reminding the agent to go in there and double check. So as you can see, this modal here is the scope of appointment reminder. And if I click check status, I can see what the latest status is of the scope of appointment. Now keep in mind, this is a demo system. So this particular record, we've sent out multiple scopes of appointment in order to show the functionality a few times. Now, these 4 scope of appointments that have been sent out, the latest one is on top. And as you can see, this last one that we sent out is still in pending status. What these statuses mean is it identifies what the shopper did with that particular scope of appointment record. Since they're all pending, I can tell the shopper really didn't do anything with it. They haven't opened it, they haven't signed it, they haven't really looked at it. What I'm going to do now is kind of show you how this process works. Let's go ahead and send in another one. So I'll go over to the Send tab, and as you can see, we could deliver it one of 2 ways. We could either deliver it via email, or we could deliver it via text. Now, our tool here also has a small editor functionality here. So whether it's an email or text, I can modify it and kind of personalize the email or text message here. In this case, from an email, I could obviously select the email address that's going to. In this particular case, it's pulling from whatever the shopper record is. But if the shopper actually has a different email they want to use, we can go ahead and enter it here. I could also change the greeting, the closing, and my own agent signature. But today I want to try a text message. As you see, text messages are designed to be much shorter here, so all we allow them to do is kind of operate which phone number that's going to be texted to, as well as make some changes to the greeting itself. Now the text that's going to be delivered to the user here shows up on the right. And I'm going to go ahead and make some small changes to this text here before I send it out. As I see, it looks like my agent name was in lowercase here, so I fixed that, and I'm going to fix my agency information. Great. And so now this text here is going to be what my shopper is going to receive. Let's go ahead and send that now. And so now what the system is going to do, it's going to send out a text message with that message I just created and a link to the electronic scope of appointment form. Now, if I want to check the status again, I can simply look up here. And as I can see here, the current status is followed, which means that that scope of appointment is out there, but it's waiting for the shopper to do something with. Let's go ahead and click on that and see what the status is now. And as you see, I just need to refresh the data here. And I see on top here, here's the latest scope of appointment form that I just sent out. And as you can tell, the shopper hasn't done anything with it. It's still in pending status across the board. So now I'm going to pretend I'm Oliver here and show you what it looks like from his perspective once he receives a scope of appointment text. So he's opened up on his phone the text message and he's clicked on the link. And when the link opens up, this is the electronic scope of appointment form that he'll see and he'll have to complete. As you see here, this language here is fairly basic and follows standard scope of appointment. Keep in mind, this form is also configurable, so if you wanted your own branding and your own language on here, we can support that pretty easily here. So as he goes through the form here, he's going to go ahead and complete it here. And I'll go ahead and complete that. This is for myself. I'm going to go ahead and agree to discuss just the Medicare Advantage plan, so we'll leave PDP plans off of it. Go ahead and confirm this is my name, this is my number, this is my email address. I'll go ahead and check the box in the test and then electronically sign. Now that I've electronically signed, I'm going to go ahead and click Submit. Now that I've submitted it, I'm done. The scope of appointment now has been electronically submitted and signed into our system. Now on the back end of our system, we've tracked this. So now we have a full audit of when that scope of appointment was sent out, who signed it, when it was signed, and which plans were approved to speak about. Let's go ahead and get back into our system now. Now that Oliver's completed the scope of appointment, I'm now back into the agent view here. And as an agent, I want to see what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh the data here. And as you see this top record here, everything changed. Now I have confirmation that Oliver opened the email, he's signed it, he's only approved MAPD plans and did not approve PDP plans. Now, keep in mind, this information is updated in real time. This just happened. Now we'll go ahead and click out of this thing and take a look to see what happens to our plan view. So first of all, I have my SOA status here updated. Green shows me that MAPD is approved. Red shows me that PDP is not approved. Now we take it a step further here. If you take a look at the actual plan view here, in our recommended plan sections, we typically show our best lowest cost PDP plan in the first column, the lowest cost MAPD plan, and the best value Medigap plan. As you see, the PDP plan here is grayed out. Now, we intentionally grayed it out and didn't remove it because of two things. First of all, we wanted to make sure that the agent was clear that they're not supposed to be speaking about these plans. If you go look here, it says not SOA approved on this particular plan. The second thing we want to do is we want to make sure the agent knew that. So if we remove the plan or filter it out, they may simply think that plan doesn't exist for this particular county. But we wanted to make it clear that the agent is not allowed to show these plans. Now, if I scroll down a bit, I'm looking at our All Plans view, and right now we defaulted to the Medicare Advantage plan section here. If I go to the PDP section, you'll see all the PDP plans are not only grayed out, but also flagged as not SOA approved. Now, if, for instance, the agent or the shopper made a mistake here and wants to go ahead and reprove it, the agent can resend a scope of appointment out anytime. And if they resend it out and the shopper at this point approves both plans, this grayed area will go away and it'll just show the plans.